Hi guys, I hope you all right. And it's been a long time. I've not reviewed any kind of book, any sort of book. Um, but um, I have read a couple of books here and there, intermittently. But the book that I really thought was, um, it should be reviewed by me is Educated by Tara Westover. This book has really transported me to in the world, and I sort of have lived with the passages of this particular book because I started it in almost a month ago, and I was like reading it from chapter to chapter because it was giving me a certain relief to jump into the other books. And there are 40 chapters of this particular book, and actually this book is a memoir of a daughter who has been abandoned by her parents and a couple of siblings as well. So this book uh, is sort of related to me, but it's I was expecting it is that it must be a misery memoir, but it wasn't actually a misery memoir. It's the book of accomplishment and the education. Tara was born in Idaho and Bucks Peak. It's a place. It's the place that is situated in the mountains, and she was homeschooled. And her father used to work in a junkyard, and she was having, a very close knit relationship with her parents earlier on, and her parents were devout Christians, and they were like very much into this practices, and they were like, you know um, calling the help of God in every endeavor they take, and they were like very orthodox kind of people. They used to think that it's a medical establishment, that you should not go for pharmacy, you should not go for schools, you should not, like, they were anti-government. And this is how like the story is cultivated, and it's very very electrifying story, I must say. That hardly when I find any memoir which has no any kind of you know boring passage. This book doesn't have any kind of boring passage at all. And let me read a couple of things from this book, because I have almost underscored and underlined its most of the passages and the sentences. uh, Now let me read it. You've got money, Tyler said. Buy books and learn it. Life would play out. When I was 18 or 19, I get married. Dad would give me a corner of the farm, and my husband would put up a house on it. Mother would teach me the herbs and also the midwifery, which she had gone back to now. The migrants were less migrants were less frequent. When I had children, mother would deliver them, and one day I supposed I would be a midwife. I didn't see where the college fit in. So her wife, sorry, her mother was midwife, and she used to deliver babies, and her brothers were helping her father. Uh, so in a kind of a business they set up, and they were like, making oils, herbs, and medicines. They were like self-medicated somehow. So this is the structure of the memoir, and the intriguing part it is that um, Tara developed a kind of you know yearning for higher education. She was never schooled, and she never set a it's really surprising as well, a person who has never set a foot on school and formal school, and she went on to become PhD doctor in history from Cambridge University. And she failed a lot of times and during the entrance, but she kind of went on to become one of the most prominent PhD holders in the Cambridge, and she won scholarships, and all the myths and mystique of her area was reflected in her memoir. And I think this is one of the few memoirs which I really feel that everyone should read. And uh, when I was like, when I finished this memoir, I found out her mother has written a rebuttal of her narration of the story. But again, the world is very now understanding the nuances of science, the nuances of technology, and advancement of medical science. The world will of course advocate Terra, uh, and the orthodox and kind of conservative stuff that used to be part of her previous life. She abandoned, and then of course the world will abandon, and they will not, they will always advocate Terra for her righteous cause. And I was like, very much like I've said, been transported to the world of Idaho, and I never knew this was the state because I once have been to United States, but I mean, out of 50 states, I never had known that there is a state called Idaho, and I was introduced to it, and it's I think I just googled it. I googled its university, and winds and meanderings of the rivers and everything. It was like wonderful memoir. Well, let me just read what I have written out at the end, because I woke up all night to finish this memoir. It took me about a month to finish it because I was like I've said, it was like intriguing memoir. I was reading it from cover to cover. Now let me read what I have written at the back of my book. Finished this book at 4:05 a.m. at night. I woke up all night to complete this masterpiece. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. It was like a skin I wore for a month. There is a lot that I learned from the book. Evil in someone's eyes is fine than one's own eyes. So actually, uh, her parents thought that Terra has been evil upon by mm, you know her education, and she has been bewitched somehow. So she didn't like this idea, and she wasn't orthodox, and she was putting her feet into the modern world, modern technology. That was unacceptable for her parents. So that's it. Thank you for being there, and I would recommend this book. And if somebody would ask me how much marking I would put up with this book, I would say 9 out of 10. And but 10 on 10 is too perfect. 9 out of 10. Thank you for being there. Thank you. Hope to see you in some next review.